So now I'll get all the artists in the room to start drawing Cindy. I want you to draw her as you see her. Have you ever done anything like this before?
Definitely not.
Right now, we're sitting as the most free versions of ourselves that have ever existed in this lifetime.
I'm an open book. I grew up trying to paint a perfect picture of what my life was so that no one would find out what was actually happening. Healing is saying everything that I've never said right here, right now.
Thank you, Cindy. So the most important question of the day. Can I come in?
Yes, please.
There's something sacred about what's unfolding here, and I want to acknowledge that. Cindy, what you're offering us today is extraordinary. Your trust, your vulnerability, your living canvas, your story, and I don't take that lightly. Thank you for allowing me to hold this space with you. We both landed in LA around 8 years ago, and since then, we've lived many lifetimes together. You truly are a little sister, one that I never had. I love you deeply, and I'm so grateful we get to create together. How are you feeling right now?
Good. I'm a little nervous.
Have you ever done anything like this before?
Definitely not. I don't think I've ever been in this situation before.
So now I'll get all the artists in the room to start drawing Cindy. I want you to draw her as you see her, but also draw what you imagine is unseen. Can I just ask you, what does it feel like to be watched like this, but on your own terms?
I guess I'm pretty used to being watched, but I feel like being in a room with women feels slightly more familiar and more open and more accepting than perhaps like how I am viewed normally.
You said that people make a lot of assumptions about you. What's something you wish people never assumed about you?
I think I used to spend a lot of time wishing and hoping for people to see me how I view myself. And I think I've let go of that need to be seen as I am. And I've accepted that people will just see me as they are rather than as I try to present myself. And I'm the only person that will ever truly know the way that I am or think. So I actually have given up on being viewed any type of way.
And in our friendship, I can see the evolution. I know you used to really struggle with anxiety, and to know this version of you, you're so free and you're so confident and you're so unapologetic. And it's just been really, really beautiful to witness you grow. For those who haven't been on this journey with you, can you kind of talk us through some of the negative assumptions people have made about you that kind of weighed you down in your earlier years?
A lot of the frustrations I used to have were mostly based on what people thought my upbringing was. I feel like people thought I came from money or had a easy upbringing, which I felt was not true to me. And I felt like a lot of like the things that have made me into the person that I am today were a product of the childhood that I had and the fact that things weren't necessarily easy. So a lot of the time whenever people would say that I had a really easy start or make up things that weren't true, I would get frustrated because it felt like they were denying something about me that I felt like really made me into me. At the end of the day, that's their truth and I know my truth.
Yeah. When did you first realize that people assumed you had money?
Actually, the way that I got popular was all made up, and that my parents or my mom had paid for it to be so, which seems so ridiculous to me. And I guess like I've seen like a few other things, but I think that's really stuck out to me because I was really clueless about everything when I first started working as a model. And I was really trying hard to hustle and like provide for me and my mom. So it felt really, really contrary to what was actually happening. But I can see how things look like that from an outsider's perspective, because I always did grow up having a kind of mentality where I would fake that everything was fine. So I feel like even when I started modeling, I always had like a fake it till you make it kind of mindset of just acting like I was already really successful and everything was set up, because I just felt like I had to in order to be respected. And so it's not really people's fault for making that assumption, but it's most definitely not true.
So you told me that you didn't have Wi-Fi growing up, and the way you kind of carried that around your peers was, everyone just kind of assumed you were mysterious. Can you talk us through the Wi-Fi journey?
Well, technically, I had Wi-Fi, but it was a Wi-Fi that I was stealing from my neighbor. Because anyone that has grown up without money in Spain knows that you can actually pay a hacker 20 euros and he will come to your house and give you all of your neighbors' Wi-Fi passwords. Eventually, they will all change them and you'll end up without Wi-Fi, which is what happened to me. But I did have Wi-Fi. I was just stealing it. And then different neighbors would find out, change their password. So much to the fact that like I ended up just having to go downstairs and stealing the bar downstairs Wi-Fi whenever I wanted to go online. And I had already been building an online community. And a lot of people thought I was just really mysterious, but I just really didn't have Wi-Fi.
What's something you wish you could say to those people who never bothered to ask about your life?
I would actually encourage them to not ask. Because now I feel like I've just let go of wanting people to know who I am. And I think the people that will feel a connection to me will do so naturally. And I can't convince anyone into believing that I'm a certain type of person.
So to the artists in the room, can you draw the version of Cindy that was left to protect herself? Whatever that means to you.
Damn, I'm shy now.
Cindy, you've spoken before about not having a parent who protected you. What did protection mean to you as a child?
I guess I don't really know what protection meant because I never really had it when I was young. And I see it in my adult life, maybe with my friends and their parents, or maybe with random strangers and how they interact with their kids. But it's quite alien to me. But I think I had a lot of love when I was young from my mom, but there was certain things that I think she couldn't protect me from no matter what, because they just happen in the world. And I guess the only protection I knew when I was younger was maybe the protection that I was using for myself and my mom. I feel like I really built a wall up of trying to seem like the perfect daughter in the perfect situation, and like nothing was ever wrong. I never wanted anyone to find out what was happening at home, so I just protected myself by pretending everything was fine at all times. I grew up with substance abuse at home. When you have substance abuse, it leads to so much more from what I've seen from my situation. And even now in my adult life, I have a lot of people that are close to me that have also gone through similar situations, and it never just affects whoever is indulgent in substance abuse. It's more, it affects everyone around them.
You've told me there were moments where you truly felt like you were alone. What did you tell yourself in those moments?
I mean, I was always alone when I was younger, and I feel like I never really had friends because I never really wanted anyone to get close, because I never wanted anyone to find out what was happening at home. Then I moved so much when I was young that I ended up just spending most of my time by myself, drawing most of the time, or reading. I spent a lot of time living in a lot of people's art, and I felt like art became the center point of like who I was when I was alone, because it was the only thing that could help me escape from my life, but also I could take with me everywhere.
To be surrounded by people who are abusing substances, that's not something any child should go through. When you came here at 19, what did the independence feel like? What were you no longer protecting in terms of the secret?
I think I just, at one point, I finally said it to someone, and I had never said it before. And once I said it to someone, it just kind of like set me free, and I was more open about it. And then once I finally told people, first it went downhill. And I feel like I tried to find an answer about why through trying substances myself. And then Sarah found me and really like showed me that what I was going through was not, I mean, it was unique, but I wasn't the only person that might have gone through something similar. And she introduced me to therapy. And then I finally slowly started to become my own person and accept myself and accept all the different things that had happened to me. And I think once I was able to accept that, I was able to build myself up again as me, rather than the person that I was when I was just protecting someone else's addiction.
What was the safety you needed as a child? You said you saw it in other people, but what did you need?
I guess I wish I would have been protected. I think my innocence wasn't protected, and I think, I don't know how to say this in a not extremely shocking way, but I wish I would have been protected against men around me. I just wish I would have been more taken care of, because I think there were moments where there was not an adult present, and I think I ended up in a lot of places and in a lot of situations where a child shouldn't be. But I don't know. Some deep lore. Some deep lore.
So we have about 2 minutes left here, and I want you guys to draw a rapid version of Cindy right now in the room. Can you talk to us about what healing looks like for you today?
I guess healing is saying everything that I've never said right here, right now. And kind of accepting it and not feeling shame or maybe feeling fear for what will happen if I don't protect someone else. But I don't know. I guess I'm finding that out now. You know, it's like I've been reborn, and I'm technically just 5 years old right now. So I don't know. Each day I grow and I find new ways of like getting to know myself and getting to know what healing and what safety and maybe what I want in life for myself. So every day is a journey. I don't know for sure yet.
If baby Cindy was in the room with us right now, what would you tell her about your life to give her hope?
I would probably, baby?
Baby Cindy? Yeah.
She's a baby? Or she's like 5?
She's 5.
Okay, if she's 5, I will tell her, don't worry, you're gonna make music. That's probably what I would say.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're gonna do everything that you wanted to do, and you're gonna have fun while doing it.
Cindy, hi.
Hi.
How are you feeling after the journey we've been on?
Well, now that I'm here, I'm feeling very cozy.
We built this world for you so you can melt into the softest version of yourself. I want you to tap into this version of yourself, the one that I'm not allowed to name, but this is a new alter ego you have created. This version of you craves balance and innocence and play. Is it hard for you to be still and sit and be nobody?
Yes, because I feel like I'm such a perfectionist and I have really high goals for myself and I'm a really ambitious person. So I feel like whenever I'm sitting still, I feel really guilty. But then again, I feel like I need moments to sit by myself and just relax because I think that's when I feel the most myself and when I can connect with myself. And I think also as an artist, it's important to sit with yourself and have time to yourself. I'm trying to ease back into giving myself the permission to sit still.
Beautiful. And what do you say to yourself when you're giving yourself that permission? Like, do you have some affirmations or comforting words that you just like carry with you when you're trying to be still and be grounded and be present?
Yes, I actually have a few affirmations that I have on my phone because I think I really have a hard time sitting still and not feeling guilt for lazy days. But I think lazy days are really important. So I tell myself I deserve rest. And I actually, can I look them up really quickly? I am committed to taking care of myself. I embrace my body and embrace rest. I'm shy.
It's okay.
I mostly have my affirmations on my journal.
Okay.
Because I journal every day. And I think whenever I'm trying to have a lazy day, I really try to remind myself that it's important to have moments of stillness in order to be able to take on to the things that you want to have energy for. And I actually read on Instagram that it is really healthy to give yourself one lazy day a week. So I've been trying to allow myself to have that. I actually think about plants whenever I'm like rooting down into the ground so that I can grow upwards and come into a flower.
That's beautiful. Okay, so let's talk about perfectionism for a bit. You said you really struggle with it. Where do you think it comes from?
I think my perfectionism comes mostly from, I think I try really, really hard to not make the same mistakes as my family. I don't want to continue the cycle. I was just forced to grow up really, really young. So it's made me really, really be really harsh on myself. And I also think honestly, modeling and being out in the public from a really young age put me out into the world, and I was able to hear so many people's opinions on me. So I think I started just wanting to be the best version of myself. But also, like I said, I grew up trying to paint a perfect picture of what my life was so that no one would find out what was actually happening. And I think I took that really far, and I took that to my life as an adult, even in modeling, in my everyday life. And I just wanted it to be perfect, or at least seem so.
What does your inner critic sound like when she gets loud? What does perfectionism sound like in your head, in your dialogue, in your intrusive thoughts? What is it saying to you?
Me and my acting coach have a name for all like my self-doubt and my perfectionism. And it comes out and it says different things to me. Like, it's every time I try to quit something, or every time I tell myself I'm not able to do something, or even, sometimes it's really bad whenever I eat. Every time I eat, it really punishes me. But I think for me, naming my voice in my head that says all these things to me really helped me. I no longer think it's what I generally think just because the thought passed my mind.
Something that I found really helps me with my intrusive thoughts and like the inner critic. There's been a bunch of books that I've read. The Power of Now, I read when I was 19. Have you read that book?
Yeah.
And have you read Untethered Soul by any chance?
No.
Both those books teach you how to separate your mind and your ego from your higher being. In Untethered Soul, it speaks about your mind as your roommate. And your roommate is constantly talking to you and yelling at you and not letting you sleep. And The Power of Now tells us to bring awareness to that roommate. It's saying to ourselves, I am listening to my mind. And you're like, oh, I'm not my thoughts. My thoughts are just thoughts. They come from nowhere and everywhere. Can you tell me, like, what does it look like to really melt into your softness? And do you think softness is a form of a superpower?
I definitely think that both softness and vulnerability are most definitely a superpower, and really difficult to allow yourself to engage in if you are a perfectionist or you're like hard on yourself. I actually really love to chill and watch movies, and I've been really trying hard to have some time off my phone, because I think constantly taking in what's happening in other people's lives is actually stressful, even though I don't realize.
What does it mean to you to be at peace with not being seen?
Probably just accepting that what people think of you doesn't have that much to do with you, and more to do with what they think of the world and they think of themselves, and to allow yourself to just exist in the way that you are. I think I've been really trying to just allow myself to just be who I am, and believe that the people who are meant to connect with me will connect with me, and the people that don't want to connect with me won't, no matter what I do. And I think just like self-acceptance in every regard is very important. Getting to know myself and loving myself is the only thing that I can be sure of, and the only thing that I actually have control of, rather than anyone else's opinion of me.
I think that's very powerful, babe. You're amazing. I mean, I think so many young girls look up to you, and they're definitely going to be watching this. And I know so many young girls experience the lives, similar experiences to us, who are still trying to navigate how to unlock their power and unlock their confidence and be unapologetic. Do you have any advice for them?
I personally feel really inspired by seeing strong women around me live out their truth and overcome things. And I think the most important thing for me has been to have a strong community around me of women who inspire me and show me that I'm not alone. Although my struggles are unique to me, I don't have to go through them alone, and they don't make me weird. I used to think that I was broken and that I couldn't be fixed. And actually, you, Sarah, came into my life and really showed me there was things that I could do, and then that there was a community that I could have around me. So I personally think that the strongest thing that a woman can do is have a strong community of women around her. I mean, I am a big fan of women. I love all the women around me, and I try to let that shine through in my personal life and who I am to the public. Even I think I've been always really open about who I am online because I always hope to connect with people that maybe feel seen. Maybe not even saying things explicitly, but certain things make you feel connected to someone and can make you feel seen and can make you feel supported. I think it's really, really important to not feel alone. And I think that happens really often. And I just only hope to give others faith in the way that other women have given me faith that I'm not alone and that I'll get through it and that I'll live my dream life.
Amen. No, that's really beautiful. And I'm so grateful to have you in my life, Cindy. You truly are my sister. And I think sisterhood is so powerful. And that is such a beautiful thing to leave us with, just to remind everyone that they aren't alone. I love you. Thank you for being here.